story, but Mokwa, being the wise woman that she is, must have made us dinner because it smells great. So they came into the longhouse, and just as Wokesis was about to stick his finger in the stew, Mokwa said, "Don't you dare! You gotta go wash up first, and then we'll all have dinner together." So he went, and everybody went and got washed up and got their plates and got ready for dinner. They all had dinner together. Nobody had just one bowl that night. Most people had 2. Some people had 3. Wokesis had 4 bowls of soup.
Wow.
And at the end, he's sitting there and his belly is so full. He said, "Mokwa, you are a good cook, but that was amazing. What did you do differently?" And she said, "Well, you know, I put in a little bit of extra spice." And he's like, no. This is more than a little bit of extra spice. What did you do?" She said, "Well, the kids broke one of my pots. I had to cook it in a different pot." He's like, no. A different pot is not going to explain this amazing flavor. She said, "Well, I ran out of water when I got the stew restarted, so I used the water you left me under the tree where you keep your tomahawk." He said, "I didn't leave you any water under the tree where I keep my tomahawk." She said, "Well, let me show you the bowl. Maybe that'll trigger your memory." So they went outside, and she said, "Wait a second." His tomahawk was back in the tree. And as she was about to say, "There's the bowl I'm talking about," she noticed that there was a little bit of water in the bottom of it. And as she's standing there, she sees dripping off the handle of the tomahawk, drip, 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 this thing that looks like water. She tasted a drip off the end of the tomahawk and said, "Huh, interesting. Very, very interesting." And she bent down and she said, "This is what I used in the stew." And he tasted it. He said, "Did you notice that slightly sweet flavor before you tipped it into the stew?" "No, I didn't notice it, but I'm noticing it now." So wouldn't you know, the next morning, every tree that looked like the one that Wokesis kept his tomahawk in had a tomahawk in it and had a bowl beneath it. And they realized that they had to heat it up to make it taste so good. So that is how maple sugaring got discovered. What do you guys think of the story?
Woo!
Good one? Okay.
Excelente.
Is those eggs?
These are not
Rocks.
eggs. These are actually rocks.
Oh.
The Native Americans didn't have any glass jars to store stuff in, so they actually couldn't keep it as a liquid syrup. They had to keep cooking it till it became either something like a hard candy or till it became sugar, like granulated sugar. So what they would do is they'd cook it down, and then they would either pour it into the snow or they'd pour it into a mold, and then they'd take what they had, either the hard candy or the mold, and they could put that in their bag. And they could take a piece off for the day and stick that in their bag, sort of like we have pockets. You know, they could take a little piece with them, and then if they wanted a little dash of sweetness, a little boost of sugar, you could just cut off a little curl, put it in their mouth and suck on it, or they could just, you know, have that sweet flavor. So this is how they stored it. They stored it in hard form. They traded this with other tribes because this was something that took a lot of effort to make. What they would do is they would take a big tree that had fallen down on the ground and they would hollow out the center of it, sort of like a canoe. But instead of putting the log in the water, they put the sap inside the log.
Oh.
Okay? And then what they would do is they'd build a big fire nearby, and they would take smooth stones that they had found in the forest or along the edge of the river, and they'd put those in the fire too, in the big long tree trunk. What they would do is they'd use sticks to get the stones out of the fire, and then they'd drop the hot stones into the sap. So they would just simply pick up the stones, drop them into the sap. As soon as that hot stone hit the sap, it would go tss, and you'd see a puff of steam coming off the sap. What were they getting out of the sap when they had that puff of steam? Yep.
The syrup.
They weren't getting the syrup out.
The sugar.
They weren't getting the sugar out. They were getting the
Water
They were
out.
getting the water out of the sap. Because they want to keep the sugar, but they want to get rid of the water. So they would use these sticks to do that. And the other thing they would do is at night they'd let the sap in the big tree trunk freeze. In the morning they'd take the ice, they'd throw the ice away off the top, and then they'd start with the hot rocks again. This was a job for kids about your age during maple sugaring season. And usually you didn't mind doing it because it meant you got to hang out with your friends all day, and then you got something sweet in the end. Because they couldn't go to the store and buy candy. Just didn't happen. So what I'd like is, I would like, can you choose 2 students for us to try with the sticks? Maybe one boy and one girl?
Get up, Jade. Come on, participate.
Jade, come on up with me. All right, who else? Okay. Jade, these are for you. And who are you? Deja. Okay. So what you're going to do, and I'm going to just sort of show you, is there's a trick to this. Basically what you do is you have one stick way down low on the ground and you use your other stick as a pusher to get it on the stick that's on the ground. So that you can then pick it up. I make it look easy, but remember, I've been doing this for 20 years. So you guys ready to give it a try? All right, give it a try. And if you can pick it up, you can put it in that box or in the bowl. Put your rock.
Is this a game?
It's just to try it. This is how they'd have to move the hot stones from the big fire and put it in the big hollowed out log where the sap is. All right. Good job.
It actually looks kind
You
of
made it look easy. Have you done this before? Are you sure? All right. Good job. Here, try one of these and try these sticks instead. Sometimes you have better luck with certain sticks. Give it a shot.
Can you sit right on the edge here?
Yes, you got it.
All right. Good job. Good job. Nicely done. Nicely done. Good job. All right. Okay. Because really, the sugaring was mostly done by women and kids. The men were busy doing other stuff.
important.
And what they would do is they would put their biggest cauldron they had on one end of their balance. They'd put a bag of rocks or a kid who was being punished on a swing on the other end of the seesaw. They'd build a giant fire under the cauldron. They'd fill that cauldron up with as much sap as they had. And as the